Hi guys, and welcome back to Neil with Neil and Thomas. And today we have a very special guest. We have our good dear friend Annie. She is a real life bona fide German, which is great because today we are reacting to Germany's song for Eurovision 2025. So we're going to get a little bit of insider knowledge potentially, or like, how do the Germans feel about this? We'll get into that afterwards. Before we get into the reaction, do remember to subscribe to the channel. And right, well, sorry, I forgot what I'm saying.
You're so like
it was all so good.
Dreamy, yeah, because Annie's joining us. They're sort of like
it's like, you know, how you could do something a million times and it'd be the same way and you get it done perfectly, but as soon as someone watches you, you're like, Anyway, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and ring the bell, get a notification every time we post a new video. And also you can go to neilpad.com. There you can find all of the links to our social media and find different ways to support us and get involved. But Annie, welcome very much to Neil. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Oh, of course. How could we not? You're fantastic. We love you.
And how long have we been planning to do a video together?
Oh, that's true.
Didn't we say it last year? Last season we were like 100 times, oh, we need to do a video together, and then we never did. So finally.
Yeah.
It sounds very much like the Neil Poir way.
Yeah, totally.
Oh wow, call us out, Annie. Wow.
No. I mean, you know, I love you guys, so I could never be mad at you.
How should you do the hearts again?
Yeah, we could. No, it's not working.
I'm the only one that can do it. It only works for me.
Well, you know, we had a lot of practice thanks to Lena doing it at Eurovision back then.
Oh yeah, that's true. She did do that. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, wow, okay. Anyway, we'll get into the reaction and we'll do some more chat. So the German national final, which is pronounced
Chefsache ESC 2025. Wer singt für Deutschland?
Thank you very much.
It's a fucking long
That's actually
title.
the only reason I was invited today, because I could pronounce it.
Yep.
If you weren't here, we have a voice note from you saying it, and we were just going to edit that on top.
Or just like one of those computer voices that they do in TikTok reels.
Google Translate voice. German national final was yesterday, and Abor and Tynna have won with the song Boller. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the national final performance, and we will react during the song, and we will have some analysis afterwards. So let's get into it. This is Boller. Instantly, I really like this build. This electronic sort of sound. Is that a cello?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's very contemporary.
It's giving me a little bit of Via and Papa from Eurosong, but a little bit elevated.
Oh yeah, true.
I think vibe-wise, it sort of reminds me of Sebi.
Yeah, but it's in a different direction, I think.
Also, how long was it that we've had German at Eurovision? Was it like the Woki mit deinem Popo song? Was that the last time?
Yeah, but it was an Austrian dialect, so but the last time we had a German song from Germany was back in 2007.
Oof.
Wow.
Roger Cicero.
I really like the tone of her voice, actually. It's got a nice softness to it.
I do really like the beat.
I like the fact we've got proper staging here as well from Germany. We don't normally get that in your national final, do we?
Can't imagine how surprised we were yesterday when we saw this.
A live band as well? What is going on?
Yeah, is it a live band? Are they playing live?
I could say something about the band after we saw the performance.
Okay. Yeah, I'm digging this. Ooh.
Oh, Conchita. Hello.
Conchita's everywhere this season again.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of adopted her in Germany.
Yeah. I like her attitude. She's very cool.
There's a chilledness to this as well as it being really.
Oh!
Oh! Oh! What? I wasn't expecting that.
Imagine if there was like a power blackout because of that.
Oh, that would be cool. Station like the Cadalane when they just like pretend the sound's all gone. Oh, okay. Abor and Tynna bother representing Germany. Right, let's start with our very special guest. How did this go down for you guys at home?
Well, when I got the first reactions yesterday from my friends and family who are not so in the bubble, it was a bit mixed. Like a lot of people are appreciating that we're finally sending something in German again. But it's also like for some it's too modern. I think we Germans, we sometimes have the attitude that we need a classy ballad to do well at Eurovision. And well, it's not my opinion, but it's like the reaction I got from some friends. So it's a bit mixed. We will have to see.
Okay, and what do you think?
Yes. I love it.
Oh,
it
good.
was like from the songs we got in the final, it was definitely my favorite. And I was a bit worried that maybe, as I said, it might be too modern for most of the Germans, but thankfully the majority thought different or thought the same as I.
That's good. I also saw that you still had Barbara hosting. Is there any way that you think that'll ever not happen again? Like, I just think, if I think of Germany and Eurovision, my thought just goes to Barbara. I just think Barbara.
I think there are only two options she's missing. A, she's sick. B, she has other appointments. Or C, she's going into retirement. Like, I mean, she's working for the ARD for ages. She's working with RTL Germany for ages. So it was kind of a no-brainer for most of us that she would host again this year.
Yeah. Okay. She's sort of become like a sort of like an iconic sort of like Eurovision personality. I feel like it's just like Neil said, like whenever you think about Germany at Eurovision, she's usually a lot of times she was the spokesperson. Didn't you guys like used to have like big, huge crowds watching the Eurovision, and then they would go live to her giving the points for Germany?
Yeah. There was like in the pre-COVID times. We haven't done it since then, but it was also kind of a typical thing for us to have this huge watching party in Hamburg, where she would announce the points, but there was always a concert before the show and a huge concert after the show. And then COVID happened, and since then they didn't do it, unfortunately. I really love that.
Bring that back, Germany. We want to go. We want to go to a party in Hamburg. That'd be amazing. So as we said, this is the first time in a while, nearly 20 years, that you've sent a song in German. Does that excite you? Like, and it's also contemporary, so it's got German and it's more contemporary. Like, is there a different feeling to this representing Germany than you've had in previous years? You know, you've had Gender, you've had Lord of the Lost. Is there more of like a quiet optimism?
I don't know if I am really optimistic. I mean, for me, for me, it reflects perfectly the current German music scene. We have a lot of young artists who are singing in German, who are doing this kind of music. So I was really grateful that we also had this in the national final. But I don't know how the music scenes in other countries are. I mean, obviously, it's kind of similar in Austria and Switzerland, because we have a lot of artists who are doing well in all three countries. But I'm not so much into the music scenes of other countries. So I will have to see how the international press, for example, is reflecting to it.
Yeah. Do you think like there's this sort of because we have that here in Belgium as well, where most people, whatever we pick, whether it's a national selection like we did this year, or whether we select internally, whether it's a fantastically modern, crazy song or something stupidly basic or generic, people always say, "Oh, we're going to come last again."
Oh yeah,
and then
that's definitely us. That's definitely
right.
us.
I feel like listening to what you're saying about how your friends feel about the song and how you're not 100% certain how it's going to do. I feel like that's a very typical Belgian thing as well. We're always going to end up last, even though we haven't ended up last in years. But we always will. And then when we come top 10, like we did with Gustav, for example, then you are a big hero and everybody loves you.
It's definitely the same here. Like last night, after we got the results, I was checking social media, and a lot of people were commenting, "Oh, this is getting last place with 0 points, and is this really the best Germany has to offer?" Well, coming from Germans. Yeah. Because when I watch what other Eurovision fans from abroad are thinking, they're like, "Oh, amazing." So
yeah.
It's kind of maybe you're right. It's kind of a pessimism that's maybe somehow inherited inside us. I don't know, because I mean,
but having struggled for so long as well, like you guys have struggled a lot. We struggled for many years at Eurovision until we sort of like got a bit of a reset with Loïc Notin and stuff like that. But even then, it's so invested in us to be negative about the Eurovision Song Contest.
But it's the same here. I remember hearing the same arguments back in 2018 with Michael Schulte, even back in 2010 with Lena. And those were both like, okay, Lena won. Michael was a top 5 placement, and people were like, "Oh, it's so boring, it can't win."
Yeah, I love that song.
It's I think. Okay, so there's no optimism. I'm surprised to hear that so many Germans are saying things like, "Is this the best we've got to offer?" Because I think this is quite exciting prospect by Germany.
It is, at least in my opinion. But as I said, a lot of people think that to be good at Eurovision, you have to send a classy ballad, which Bala obviously isn't.
When was the last time you guys sent a classy ballad anyway? It probably was Michael Schulte. And that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get into our reactions just very quickly. So I think positively to this. So I really like the instrumental to it. I really like the tone of her voice. We will need to look into the lyrics, or maybe we'll ask you in a minute about sort of if there's what the bigger meaning of the song is lyrically, because obviously don't speak German.
You didn't learn, even though it for so long.
I'm still struggling with Dutch. I speak to Thomas every day, so. But yeah, there's something about this that I really like. I don't quite know where I see it placing. I don't see it getting 0 points or coming last, but I'm not sure I can quite see it yet breaching the top 10 in a final that's quite heavy with some really fun, upbeat songs. But this is a really nice welcome addition for me. Like the beat almost gives me, as I mentioned Via Papa, but it does almost give me that sort of dance techno element a little bit that we've got from Belgium's entry this year, but just turned down slightly. But I really appreciate that as well. I think it's quite nice to have the two sort of different ways of doing it. But I think this is a really good entry. Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. This is going straight on my playlist. I love it. I think it's so along the lines of what I listen to all the time. Do you know what it also kind of reminds me of? I don't know, Annie, if you watched the Estonian national final or if you listen to any other songs.
I did.
And Marlin's song also has a bit of that contemporary, really modern vibe, that beat kicking in here and there. And just like Germany's entry this year, it's very linear. It doesn't really have any huge standout vocal moments or whatever. But I think in that sense, it could really stand out because we do have a lot of crazy vocals already at Eurovision, out of the entries that we've had chosen so far. And I'm sort of, because I was comparing this to Sebi as we were listening to the song. That one also stood out in its simplicity. It was cool, it was modern, it was fresh. And yes, it was very linear, but people liked it for exactly that reason. And I think that's probably also why it's getting a lot of really good reviews from at least non-German fans. So I could see this. I'm also thinking back of Blanche, who represented us a few years ago, which was also did not have any standout moments or anything, but it was just the production was so beautifully done. And I feel like this one is very much along the lines of that. Again, you never know with Germany what's going to happen with placement. I feel like Germany has been underrated a lot of times. I don't want to pretend. We can't pretend as if Germany didn't send any good songs in recent years. They did. You know, Lord of the Lost did not deserve to come. Was it last or second last?
Last.
That was wild to me. So you never know with Germany, but I feel like this is probably the first time since Lena, who was very modern back then. You know, I'm not saying it particularly aged very well that you could drop that song now, but that was a very popular type of song back then. You know, had the likes of Kate Nash, Lily Allen, who were very popular, and she sort of like, you know, tapped into that energy. I feel like this one feels very, very 2025. So in that sense, I'm really, really excited for it. What I would like to see a little bit more, but that's just you know, tweaks here and there, is to see maybe a little bit more energy from, not necessarily from her, but from the people around her on stage. I want to see something happening a little bit more, and I think she probably needs to make sure that the vocal is a little bit stronger. It's a little shaky at times.
But there's something, because I heard a lot of criticism about the vocals. You have to know that she was sick the whole last week. Like
she did that sick.
Like we you know, we have on that one social platform, nobody mentions the name anymore. We have a group chat with German Eurovision fans, and we were really, really worried that they may have to drop out, like Frida Goldbeck did back a few years ago because of the sickness. And so when we heard that they will be on stage, that they will sing live, it was such a huge relief for all of us.
Yeah. And then I do agree with you, Thomas, a little bit more energy. There's a little bit more there's a little bit more they can certainly do with the staging, but again, this is a national final performance, and for a national final performance, this is really, really good performance, especially when we look at it in the context of what we've had from national finals in Germany over the last couple of years.
So true.
No offense, Annie, but they've not been.
No, it's you're taking the words out of my mouth. It was really something we were hoping for in Germany, to get a proper national final with a more or less good production, and it was well produced for German standards yesterday.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, and I think there's that, taking it seriously does help when it then comes to the actual Eurovision contest, because we talk about it a lot, but the Melody Festivalen is bigger in Sweden than Eurovision is, so they take Melody Festivalen so seriously, and that's why we always end up with songs that do really, really well at Eurovision, because they take it seriously in the national final. So I think I know it's a new guy you've got in charge. I think whatever he's done to sort of build this national final is the track that you should probably follow, because you've got a really great song here, and it's probably the first time I've been really excited for a German entry in a few years, other than Lord of the Lost, because that was so different.
Yeah, I get your point, but I'm not sure if Stefan Raab, who was in fact responsible for the national final, is the real person to do it in the years to come. Because there were some comments yesterday where we were basically freaking out. Like there was this one metal band called Feuerschwanz, who were also like fan favorites before because they're really huge in the German metal scene. And after they performed, Raab said something like, "Oh, well, I don't know if you're a good entry for Eurovision because 60% of the people voting there are women and women prefer ballads." I was, I was sitting there with my flatmates and we were just like, did he really just say that?
Okay, so maybe just take away everything I just said. Maybe just reverse time. And
was he talking about the 60% of the Eurovision fans are women?
No, 60% of the people voting at Eurovision.
Does he realize that the vast majority of people voting are raging homosexuals?
That's what I say. He's maybe not the right person to do it.
He might be, but at least he set the foundation for a better national selection at least. So you guys can build on that.
That's true, but I don't know if we will see it like this in the years to come because the responsibility in Germany will change totally. Like this year is the last time it will be from the NDR, which is like the regional broadcaster in northern Germany, and from next year onwards it will be in the southwest broadcaster. So yeah, that will also be interesting to see if they follow this path or come up with something completely new.
Or something to keep us intrigued for next year, then, to see what happens. Back to the song. Can you give us a little bit more information about what it's actually about, the lyrics and stuff? Because obviously we've mentioned we don't speak German and we're not Lady Gaga, so we can't, if you like.
Sure. It's kind of a breakup song, but not in a negative sense. It's like, it's more about like going out of a relationship which wasn't good, and becoming better because of the broke up.
Finding yourself in that.
Yeah.
And
because
sort of thing.
It's also something you see in the verse, because in the first verse it's like, you want me to get some new clothes, some new perfume, and in the second verse she's singing, oh well, now I will get myself new clothes and a new perfume and stuff like this.
Okay, so
that's funny because it reminds me for Lena's lyrics where she said, I bought new underwear
for you.
They're blue.
I wore them just the other day. It reminds me of that a little bit. Do you know what I was also thinking? What the great thing about this is that you guys have a really good, because we talked about staging just now, and there's so much time left to like improve the staging, to elevate it for Basel. But at least you guys have a good song. Like, you guys have a fantastic song, and you don't have to stress about qualifying. You're already there. You're in the final, so you can put all that energy in just perfecting the staging. So what if you have to put a ranking on it? What do you think is the highest possible rank for this song? If everything goes well, if the staging goes well, if the vocal is good, what are you thinking, or what are your hopes?
Good question. I mean, everybody would be happy with a top 10 placement, like in every country. So maybe that's something, lower top 10, top 15. I'm not aiming for a victory. I know Raab, when he had the press conference back in October, he said he came to win. I don't see it with this song, even though I love it. But yeah, I think something in the top 10, or like how we love to say, the left side of the ranking.
Left-hand side of the board.
Is definitely possible.
I say left-hand side is definitely doable. Or to me, there's just, because there is so much this year in terms of big in your face, I just struggle to see if it can creep into that top 10. But I can see it creeping into the left-hand side for sure. But no, I think this is really strong. I'm really excited to see how this goes in May, and it's not, as Thomas said, that's only 2 months away now, so we're getting close. Anni, thank you very much for joining us. I know you don't really have a channel to promote or anything, but do you want to promote your social media or anything like that? Where can people find you?
No. It's, I mean, those who know me follow me, and you can always catch me on Instagram or Blue Sky, and if you follow the guys, you will find me anyway.
Yeah,
and the other app,
Yeah, the other app, the one who used to be a bird.
We don't talk about that place.
Yeah.
But Annie, thank you so much for joining us. We love you so much, and you are a star. So remember, everyone, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think that Germany's going in the right direction this year? Do you think that we can get them into the top 10? Let us know. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and press the notification bell for more video notifications. You can also go to neilplow.com for all of our links and information on how to get involved. Other than that, we will see you very soon for Sweden Week as we go into Melody Festival. And see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.